Hello, you're watching the Richard Wade Show. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about a Japanese food dish called Oden. It's a soup made with Japanese fish cakes. For the last 5 years, my band's got to tour Japan, and it's one of my favorite things to eat there. When you go to a convenience store, sometimes they have like a little steam tray. It's got the fish cakes, it's got little radishes, eggs, things like that, and it's very delicious. It's one of the best things you can get. And when you think of convenience store food, it's nothing like it is here. They deliver food fresh several times a day. But I'm going to show you how to make Oden at home. Alright, now the first thing we're going to do is gather up the ingredients. You can see right here we've got aji mirin, sweet cooking rice seasoning. All of these things are available at your local Asian store, most likely. Next up, this is the most important, the Suyu soup base. This is the basis for the broth, and it's also good for making udon and other Japanese dishes. Alright, I've boiled some eggs. On the left, you can see the regular white, hard-boiled eggs. Well, actually, kind of medium. I usually boil mine about 6 minutes. And then I soak them in soy sauce and mirin overnight. Alright, next up, we've got several types of Japanese fish cakes. These are called Chikuwa. They're little tubes, just kind of white fish. Got some shrimp balls. And I've got some fish tofu. I also like to put daikon radishes in my Oden, but I don't have any today. To prepare them, you'll just boil them in the Suyu soup base mixed with water. Alright, next up we're going to get some water into a pan, and we're going to add our ingredients in. Alright, once we got that done, we can add a little bit of the Suyu. On the back of the container, it actually has instructions for it, and it says to add roughly 10-to-1 ratio. I just kind of eyeball it because I know the color I like the broth to be. So I'll put it in. And I'll get out my ladle, since that's easiest to serve it with. Just stir it up. Stir it up. And after that, we just got to let it come to a boil, and everything will be ready after that. Alright, so I've let the Oden pieces boil for about 5 to 10 minutes. Just depends, according to whatever you like. You don't want to overcook them though, because the fish cakes can get all mushy. Just spoon some out into my bowl, along with a little bit of the broth. Maybe enough to cover them. I ended up taking the eggs out a little bit early because I didn't want to boil all the soy sauce flavor out of them, so that's why they were already in the bowl. This has been one of my favorite quick snacks to make lately, or quick meals, because the restaurant's been closed for the most part because of COVID stuff here in Oregon. So we haven't been able to eat out much. I mean, we can go through a drive-thru and bring it home, but why would I go through the trouble of doing that when I can just eat right here? So this is basically what the Oden should look like when it's done. I prefer to have more ingredients, more different things, but this is the ones I had on hand at the moment. You'll also find that if you go to some Asian markets, I'll have Oden assortments where everything's already in the pack, and some of it even has sauce mixes with it, so those are very convenient and can add more variety. Alright, well now we're going to try it. I mean, I eat it all the time, I know how it's going to taste, so take a bite. It can be very hot. Of course, it was in boiling water, so I guess I don't really have to tell you that. It always reminds me of what it's like to be in Japan every time I eat it. So, while I'm eating a little bit here, actually I'm probably going to let it cool, I want to talk about the reason I'm changing the channel format up. I used to do a painting show called The Salem Painter, and I still love to paint. I paint all the time. I have a lot of different projects. I always go to festivals and paint there, do different things. But I decided to change the format a little bit because I can't film the show at the studio I used to. I did it at the local access station in Salem, Oregon, and I moved to Albany, and their rules state that you have to live there to use their equipment, unless you have a sponsor. I've thought about finding a sponsor and maybe continuing to do it there, but the filming schedule was just getting to be a little too much for me because I had a lot going on with work and other things, and traveling to Japan every year with my band, of course, was taking up a lot of my money, things like that. We actually didn't get to go this year because of the COVID travel restrictions. But we're hopeful that we might be able to this year. Either way, we've still got travel vouchers from our plane tickets that we bought last year, so hopefully that'll work out for us. And this new channel, I changed the channel to The Richard Wade Show because I'd like to showcase a variety of things. Like, for example, I might cook something or maybe go to a restaurant and try something weird, make a video of it, or maybe do a music performance or two. I play guitar, and I've been playing since I was 15 years old, so it would be nice to get more of my music out here in this area. I did it a lot back home in Georgia, but I moved out to Oregon about 8 years ago, and most people here know me as a painter. So I think it would be fun to branch out a little bit. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you'll try Oden, and if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask. I try to reply to every comment as soon as I see it. Sometimes it takes me a while to see it, but most times I catch them pretty quick. And hopefully you like the new channel layout. So I'll see you next time.